every decade you have brand new company in the top 10 of the S&P 500, and the big companies that everybody was thinking they cannot die, they cannot get replaced, are getting replaced in this top 10. So in this video, we're going to do some prediction about the companies that I think will be potentially out of the S&P 500 top 10 in a decade from now. I got inspired by this video from a French YouTuber that has the same name, and you can see from this visual from Visual Capitalist that in 1990 you had totally different company than in 2000 in the top 10. You could have, the first one was IBM. In 2000, IBM wasn't even in the top 10. You had ExxonMobil second, then it stayed. General Electric, which became first. Philip Morris totally disappeared. Shell disappeared. Bristol Myers Squibb disappeared and never came back after. Merck, same. Walmart, it stayed for more decade. AT&T, Coca-Cola. Decade after, most of these companies were not in the top 10. A decade again after, most of them were not. You have still ExxonMobil and General Electric that did 3 decades on top, which is pretty impressive, pretty good. You have IBM that came back, and then AT&T as well came back. And in 2024, a totally different company. You just have Apple and Microsoft that are still in this top 10. And if we look at JP Morgan, if we look at the top 10 right now, we can see that first one you have Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Meta Platform, Broadcom, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet, and Walmart. So let's try to do some guess and see which one can be still here for the next decade. Or if we come back in 2035, who will we have? First thing, I just want to show that why some company like IBM just disappeared from this top 10, or eventually even, Procter & Gamble, why it's not in the top 10 anymore, while it's still doing great, it still had some growth. For IBM, it's pretty much obvious the company didn't have any growth, okay? Since the last decades, it's been since 2006, the company don't have any growth. We can put it on 30 years base. And we had a peak of revenue in 2011, and then it just decreased. Now we start to go up again a bit, but it's just been decreasing. When we look at the EPS, you can see that the EPS is pretty much the same, decreasing since 2013. So it's normal with this that you cannot be in the biggest company in the world and in the US anymore with this kind of thing. For Procter & Gamble, it's a bit different. You still have some growth. The EPS grew by 6% per year, but the problem, or by 4% per year for the last 20 years. But the problem is you had companies like Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet and so on that grew by 10, 15, 20, 30% per year. So obviously it took them over. So my first guess will, for Microsoft, in my opinion, in 10 years, it will still be in the top 10. So, maybe not at first place, but it will be in the top 10. The reason is the company is well managed. You have great numbers for this company. You have a great management team. You have a great way of organization in it. They have some solid moat as well. The debt is good. You don't have too much debt for the company. You still have some growth. They continue to go into new markets and manage to adapt to the market as well to always be competitive. So in my opinion, Microsoft will still be in the top 10. Nvidia is my first bet that I think will not be in the top 10 in 10 years. The reason is that when you look at Nvidia Corporation, first of all, you see the revenue. You had really exponential growth from 2024. Okay, so it's been during a year and a half, a huge growth. Why? Because they managed to seize an opportunity. They saw that the market had a lack of something, so they went into it. One day, the market will not have the lack of this anymore, and will they be able to continue to grow? I'm not sure. I think they will continue to grow, obviously, but I'm not sure they will do as they did now, because if you look at this, if we go back to just 2023, you still had some pretty solid performance. If you go to 2021, 12% cumulated annual growth rate. So it's very good, but when you had those one, it doubled. Just from 2-3 years, it doubled the return that you could have for the company. So I think it's over-earning, okay? That the earning will tend to stabilize and potentially decrease in the next 10 years, okay? When you look at the EPS, you see that quarterly, now you start to have less increase in the quarterly EPS here. You obviously have like a great chart, like it totally exploded. And that's where I think there is a problem. You can see as well the valuation. You have a valuation which is 46 times earnings, which is pretty high, okay? It's not like incredibly high, you have way worse, but it's still pretty high. It went to 100 P ratio. So I think that we may see for this company, there is a lot of expectation of growth. There is a lot of expectation because it's very expensive. So we may see a growth which will stabilize itself. So the 20% per year, the 30%, 40% per year. I think this is over now. And we may have like a compression of the PE multiple, which means that probably some company will overtake Nvidia and it will not be number 2 and it will not be in the top 10 anymore. Apple is difficult because they don't have any growth since what? Since few years with Apple. You look at the revenue since 2022, they don't have any growth. They're not doing anything, okay? They got, and I think it's even more because in my opinion, they potentially got a bit lucky with the pandemic because you started to not have growth anymore as well in 2019. Then you have the pandemic, everybody needed more computer, everybody needed an iPad, a new iPhone and so on. So it increased again and now it's flat. It's flat basically. So I think it may become problematic, this little growth. You same since 2022, no growth is only due, like the EPS growth is only due to the decreasing of share outstandings. So in my opinion, though, Apple will stay in the top 10. Will stay in the top 10 because the moat is very big. Everybody still have an iPhone, okay, today. Most of the people have Apple as a phone and everything. So because of that, I think it will stay in the top 10, but it will be closer to the 10th position than to the first position in 10 years. Number 4, Amazon. Amazon, I actually believe that this company would be on the top of this list because they're involved in so many businesses. Now I think they have 3 businesses that generate more than $100 billion revenue per year, okay, which is very, very incredible. Okay, they are really close to this. So Amazon, I really believe that they can stay here. They will be on top as well. Especially now that they're doing advertisement with Twitch plus the search on Amazon. The advertisement on Amazon is such something that can be very profitable for them. They have the cloud, they are launching robotaxis, they are good in robotics, so they can, I think they are one of the most, like that, one of the companies that will benefit the most from AI and from robotics because it will really help them to reduce workforce, which was the problem with Amazon to be very profitable. It was a workforce. So now with all this advance, all this innovation, I really believe that they can continue to grow, have higher margins, and they are well positioned for this. Their CEO have a long-term view. Okay, Jeff Bezos created a big view for the company, very long-term. Andy Jassy continue on this path, and I even think that Andy Jassy is, let's say, more. It's better in terms of financials. I think he wants more like financial return for shareholders. So yeah, I really believe Amazon can be number 1 or number 2 in 10 years. Meta Platform, I think it will stay in the top 10. It will stay in the top 10 because whatever we say, even if people say, yeah, but it's just some apps and so on, everybody is using them every day. You have billions of users. You have half of the world, I think something like this, using one of Meta Platform app every day. So they monetize all of this so well that I don't think they will be out of the picture in 10 years. I think they will still be here. They had this problem that they don't have any hardware. They only have the software. And in my opinion, if they manage to get hardware with those Meta Glass and so on, it can be even better for them. So Meta platform, I think it will stay in the top 10. I don't know where in the top 10 it will be, but I think it will stay in the top 10. Broadcom, I think it will go out because the more and more we advance and the more and more every hyperscaler and so on try to get rid of intermediate when it comes to chips, when it comes to network and so on. So I think Broadcom might get out of the top 10. We might not see them in 10 years in this top 10. Tesla, same. In my opinion, it's in the top 10 now just because of valuation. Because if we look at the revenue, yes, you have some good revenue growth, 39% per year. Over the last 5 years, 21% per year. So you have some solid revenue growth. The earning per share are kind of fine, even though in 2024 it got at the same levels as 2021. So big decrease in growth. But it's a profitable company. You have some share dilution, so you don't really like this. But in my opinion, this company is here only because there is Elon Musk at the top, and it's only because of valuation. Okay, look, you had like a PE. The lowest PE we had in years was in 2022 at a 30 PE. Okay, now we are like 172 PE ratio. So I think that they are like, it's not justified. They shouldn't be that high. It's a good company, of course, but it shouldn't be that high. The valuation is way too high. People are hoping way too much compared to other companies about the future just because Elon Musk is like a visionary. He have like great entrepreneurship history and so on. But at the end of the day, it's super high. And I think if the valuation got to something normal, and in 10 years, there is big chance that it should be out of the top 10. And we could even see something like the robotaxi may not be profitable. Like there is this big war. So I don't see, for example, why you will pick a Tesla robotaxi instead of a Waymo or an Amazon. So there will probably be a huge price war. And in this price war, I'm sorry, but Alphabet and Amazon are way better placed than Tesla because they have more cash, they have more leverage, they're in a better position to go on a price war. While Tesla, no, they have less business than all of them. While Google, Amazon, they have tons and tons of business of area to earn money. Tesla, they're just selling cars, they're just selling superchargers, battery, and so on. So in my opinion, they will be out of the top 10. The valuation is way too high to keep it in the top 10. Berkshire, Hathaway is difficult. It's difficult to know because now they are so big that every part of the business become very difficult. So it will all depend on how they manage the insurance area, if they manage to grow it and so on. So I guess it have a chance to be in the top 10. Warren Buffett is stepping out, but the new CEO, I think he will do great. So yeah, Berkshire, it's same. Like I need to take a bet, so I will guess it will still be in the top 10. The way it's managed and so on. The only problem I see here it's super big. So can it grow? Okay, can it grow? Can they find some opportunity to invest all the cash that they have and so on? So that's the only concern that I will have about Berkshire, but they can still be in the top 10. Alphabet, I think they will definitely be in the top 10. The reason is they are so big now. So obviously you may have some problem with artificial intelligence, with ChatGPT, with all of this. But at the end of the day, they have different type of businesses. They have the cloud growing fast. They have YouTube. Even though Google search may be disrupted, it still represents some revenue and it will not go to zero tomorrow. Okay, if Google search will die, I think it will take at least few years before going completely to zero. You don't change habit of using internet like this for everybody. Okay, so it will take some time before getting to zero, and they might as well find some solution to keep monetizing it. The integration of Gemini and so on with all the Google ecosystem with Android and everything, it's pretty nice and it's becoming nicer and nicer every day. So at the end of the day, I don't see myself and I don't see the world not using a Google product, an Alphabet product or service almost every day. It's a bit like Meta. Everybody use one of their service every day. For Alphabet, I think it will be kind of the same. So I don't believe that it will go to, like it will get out of the top 10. And the last one, Walmart. So Walmart we put because we put Alphabet, like we just put it in as one. Walmart in the top 10. Same. I don't think they will be in the top 10 in 10 years. Not because the business will elude, not because the business will not be good anymore or anything like this. Mostly because I think some company will have some high growth, and I think some company, we may have another company that, let's say, will do a bit like Tesla, where you will have super high valuation for a short period of time. So you may have like this pushing out some company. So I think Walmart could be pushed out of the top 10 from a company like this, and eventually even Berkshire Hathaway could be pushed out by a company like this. Then when you look at the order from the top 20, do I see one from the top 20 entering here? Maybe JP Morgan, but JP Morgan more like staying around 10 or 9 and going in the top 10, going out. So it will depend, let's say, of the months or around this area if it will be. Eli and Lilly, I don't think it will be in the top 10. I think it will stay in the top 20, but not be in the top 10. Visa and MasterCard, I don't think as well they will be in the top 10. I think they will be close to top 10, but not sure they will be in the top 10. Netflix could be a company that can be in the top 10 if we have like a valuation going super high, like the P ratio and so on. Netflix could have the profile for this. Oracle, I believe that they can be with the cloud and so on. They may have something to do in the next 10 years. So maybe Oracle could have a chance to enter in the top 10 or to get closer. Costco, I don't think it will be in the top 10. And Procter & Gamble, I don't think as well. It will be in the top 10 in 10 years. So that's my guess. Obviously, like, there is no science behind all of this. It's just pure guess. It's just, let's say, for fun to try to speculate a bit on what could be in the top 10. Let me know what you think will be in the top 10 in 10 years, which company you think will be out of the top 10 in 10 years, and it could be fun to come back in few years to see how this went. Don't take it as a financial advice or anything like this, okay? It's purely for fun and to see what could be done, okay? So I'll see you in another video. Bye.